everyone, it's Coffee with Courtney here, and I'm excited to bring you this new video on pour over method, my personal favorite. So we're gonna get into how you do it, the way I like to do it the most, and then how you can enjoy the best cup of coffee on pour over. So I went ahead and got all the things that you'll need out here. You need the coffee filters, the coffee, the main star, a grinder, and then a scale. And then of course I use Kalita Wave, which is a great pour over mechanism, especially for when you're making 1 cup. So today we're using Dark Spire Coffee, their Eclipse Dark Roast. They're out of Frisco, Texas, so I'm excited to support someone kind of local here. And we're gonna go ahead and get the exact measurements. So there are lots of pour over methods out there. I've tried a ton. This is the one that honestly I found is the best for me. We're gonna do 25 grams of coffee. So we're gonna grind it up here. So depending on what kind of grinder you have, if you have one of those fancy ones that you can kind of put what you're looking for, medium to coarse, medium to fine, fine, whatever it is, then awesome, it does all the work for you. I just have kind of your standard run-of-the-mill, it's called Braun. It's a little bit older kind of equipment here, but I just count the 20, and that's usually gets me the coarse grind that I prefer. So now that we have our beans ground, we're gonna go ahead and get the water boiling. So depending on what you have, if you have a thermometer, awesome, it's usually what you would use for cooking, then use that to kind of get your perfect temperature, which ranges between 195 and 205. But if you don't have one of those, totally cool. I didn't use one for a long time too. Typically you just get your tea kettle going, wait till it boils, and then once it's reached that boiling point, just let it rest for about 30 seconds and then you're good to pour over. That should be within that range of 195 and 205. So let's go ahead and get your water boiling. I highly recommend getting the gooseneck here, simply because it's just more precise. When you're going and doing your pour over, the actual action of moving it around in the filter that I'm going to show you here in a bit, it makes it so there's no spillover and you don't have to worry about, you know, pouring too much. Trust me, I've been there. It makes things messy. So gooseneck is just the way to go. It's not too expensive either to kind of get that little upgrade, make it more precise for you. So the next step would be to get your filters all set up. So I get the number 2 brown coffee filters here. Number 2 just means the size that you need for your Kalita. Again, it depends on if you're trying to make 1 cup of coffee, 2. There's different sizes that you can buy, but obviously I usually just make 1 for me. So let's go ahead and get the filter in here. As you can see, it's a perfect fit. And the next step is to go ahead and wet it. And the purpose of this is to obviously get it to stick and just prepare it for when we do the whole pour over process. And also you want to do this with your boiling water. Like I said, right after it's done, about 30 seconds, or if you have your thermometer, go ahead and put that boiling water all the way through so that your carafe here is basically preheated and ready for the coffee to come. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour it in there. So we have our water boiling now. I'm wetting the filter and I'm letting a little bit seep through. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside so we can really prepare for the show. So I got all my grinds here. I'm going to go ahead and get them in. And guys, I'm all about no waste, so I make sure every last little grind gets in there. Alright, so now every last bit is out of there. We're gonna set that aside, but I do want to say for cleanliness, please clean your coffee grinder after every grind. Mostly just for precision on flavor, but also if you happen to use other coffees, it's gonna taint their flavor for their beans because it could be a light roast or a medium roast or a blend or something. It's gonna taste totally different and it's gonna taint it. So the next step, we're gonna make sure that the coffee is even. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of shake it a little bit so we can make sure we have an even playing field. So we're starting off with giving it just a little bit of water. This is the wetting process. So we're gonna give it 40 grams. Again, this is a method that I've tried many times. I've tried other stuff and I like this one the best. So I'm gonna give it just a little bit of water. This is to begin the oxidation process. 40 grams to be exact. and then we're gonna wait 40 seconds. So start your timer, just use your phone. So in this wetting process, it releases the CO2 from the coffee. So then when we go back to wet it some more after the 40 seconds, it's able to really seep into the coffee and extract the flavor. Okay, so now that we are done with that first wetting process, we're gonna go into the second one, which is adding more water. So we basically are going to pour all the way into the top, and this gives the opportunity for the beans to really soak up the water. So we are gonna keep pouring over until we get to 400. So we're at 350 now, and this is really the process of diffusion. So this is really your last kind of leg here. We're almost there. I like to go in circles. Again, this is a technique that I learned by using different methods and what's kind of produced the best cup for me. So here we are, we're at 400 grams. That means of the water that we've poured over. And so now we just wait for it to drip. So now's the time for you to enjoy it. Make sure to get your favorite cup and pour yourself your masterpiece here, or science project, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's all chemistry. You guys can only smell this. All right, smells good. First sip. I cannot wait till you guys try this at home and then leave me a comment and tell me what you think, because this is my favorite moment right here, is taking the first sip after making my cup. You'll see soon enough. Be sure to check back in for more brewing methods, especially if you like this one, and all my other coffee adventures. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.